All right, here we go. This is another podcast from me, Jay the Denier. I'm here with my brother, who's probably not that sound of mind and body. What do you think?
I'm somewhere in between.
Somewhere in between.
Yeah, that's right.
For the most part, everybody here knows that I'm very kind of right-leaning, libertarian type guy. This man right here is a lot more conservative and a little bit more super constitutional. I don't disagree with probably 90% of what he says. There might be a few things we disagree with. But here we're going to have a couple of drinks, sit down, have a little talk, discussion, things about politics, libtards, sports, you name it, go for it.
Good stuff.
So, all right, what are we doing here tonight?
Well, first of all, we're in your castle. Why don't you take the bigger glass?
Oh, well, I have no problem with that at all.
Appreciate the drink.
Thanks, sir. And by the way, we're drinking a little bit of that jam.
Yes, sir. Appreciate the invite.
No, we made. I brought you over here with your girl, and we decided to have some ribs, sausage, and this and that.
Yeah,
you know,
which was delicious.
A little bit of a barbecue.
Yeah, I appreciate you having us over.
That's good. It's good.
It's been good times.
Of course, you know what I do. Most of my videos are pretty politically charged. I'd like for me and you to be able to do a little bit more of the not so political, a little political tone, but more of like just the everyday guy talking.
And just like brother banter, basically.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah, I'm totally down for this.
Okay, so you've seen some of the videos.
I have seen some of the videos.
What do you think of them so far? And be honest with me. You know, I can take criticism. It's fine. What do you think?
Well, the last one with the singing.
The feminist music
was quite interesting.
You know, I'll contribute that to Paul Joseph Watson from InfoWars, which you're a big InfoWars guy, aren't you?
Yeah.
So are you totally and completely, like, do you believe all their little hypothetical little conspiracy theories? Do you think Alex Jones has it all right, or do you think he's just kind of playing it up for that?
Well, you know I'm a Jonesy. Okay.
Yeah, that definitely is true.
Alex is my man.
Right.
I don't believe in everything
Okay.
that he says. Some of his stuff is kind of...
All right, give me. Okay, I won't make you do all of them. Give me, what's your biggest one that he does that seems to be probably the most controversial?
The aliens.
The aliens?
The aliens.
The aliens. So do you believe what he's saying, or do you just kind of like, I get it, yeah, that makes sense.
Look, I think you'd have to have a feeble mind not to think that there is something.
So you think there are aliens out there?
To say aliens...
But do you think there's something out there that's not from this planet?
I mean, you know how big the universe is.
Well, yeah.
Okay, so it's questionable.
Okay. Well, that's good.
To say the least.
I mean, you know me. I believe there might be something out there, but I'm always been, if there's gonna be something, we would have really seen it by now. All the skepticism and that's where you and I differ on that one part.
Yeah.
You look at things beyond just some factual points of it. I want to see hard evidence. This is one of those things where I want to see an alien body. I want to see an alien ship.
Which is understandable.
So, do you think of it like Area 51? Do you think that's like a straight up just that's an alien site and there's alien ships and governments, all the technology of today comes from there? Or do you think we found a little bit of something and we've advanced from there?
I think at some point, at some time, there was things of that nature at Area 51, but I think Area 51 since then has moved. I don't think
it's kind of overhyped.
I don't think it's the Area 51
that everybody thinks
it is.
Okay, well, that's good.
I think it's more of a tourist kind of thing now. Even though, you're not allowed to be within a certain amount of miles from there. I actually went there
Oh, yeah.
Which you know about.
Yeah, talk
And
about that.
we got met by Jeeps and helicopters and all kinds of stuff. So, yeah.
So you're a little bit, there might be something going on.
It
right?
was an interesting trip, to say the least. But, I mean, yeah, I believe there's something. You know I'm a man of God.
Right, of course.
Okay, number one. So, thanks be to God. Let me go ahead and say that. If you get offended, too bad. If you get offended, I didn't know where the camera was.
I'm directing traffic.
He's
over
letting
there.
me know.
See these little things that are
This
like,
is
yeah,
my
it's up
first
here.
time, so forgive me, please. But no, I'm definitely a man of God, and I believe God created more than just
Us.
Yes.
Okay, well, that's cool.
absolutely.
That's cool. That's going to push me a little bit more. I guess because you're here, you're now. By the way, his name is Chris.
Yes.
My name is Jason. This is Jay the Denier Show, if you will. I'm going to ask you. You're obviously Christian.
Christian man, yes.
You're obviously conservative.
Yes.
Now,
I lean towards certain liberal things, which we can get into.
right? Okay, so say pot, legalizing pot.
Absolutely, 100%.
All right. Let's go back 2016 November. Were you Trumper all the way, or were you fuck it, it's conservative?
First of all, let me say this. I'm absolutely 100% Trump.
Now or that day?
I was Trump that day, but was I 100% Trump?
Okay.
No, I was like 60-40 Trump. But let me tell you this. The reason why I was 60-40 was because the devil was on the other side of the
Ballot.
and I didn't really want to, vote for the devil. So, since then, Trump has done a lot. A lot of people don't want to give him credit for it. And
The economy's booming.
The economy is booming.
Jobs
He's
are up.
created a lot of jobs, man. A lot
How about
of jobs.
the lowest black unemployment on record?
On record, let's go ahead and get that on note. The
The lowest
black
Latino,
unemployment ever. Yeah.
Unemployment. Unemployment's down lower than it has been in 40 years overall.
The economy overall is.
Oh yeah, the market's way
yes,
up. I mean,
doing
these are
way
the
better.
things, and that's kind of the problem. It's like when I started, you know me, I was Ted Cruz.
Yeah.
When it very first started, I was kind of Marco Rubio, but I was Ted Cruz in the primaries. And then when I got to the point where they were doing their little talks, and I realized, okay, well, they're not ready for a push guy like this guy. He's New Yorker. I wouldn't say bully, but he is I'm the strong man. I'm the one in charge kind of guy.
First of all, I'm going to go on a tangent here.
Okay.
If you don't mind.
Yeah.
This is the U.S. of America. Okay. Let's go ahead and get that straight. Number one. I remember a time when my grandfather would take me out, and we'd go hunting,
Right.
learn how to survive, and do the things. And since my growing up days, things have changed a lot.
Oh yeah.
Okay, and it's become more of a
Wussified.
it's wussified. I mean, the society is wussified. The children of today are out of control.
Yeah, I'll give you that. Too opinionated and no respect, and it's like we were talking about right after the election, and at first we were really shocked by the reaction. I was, at least. I think you were a little bit more kind of expecting it. With the crying and the whimping and I was kind of like, yeah, I know. I mean, they'll be shocked. And the guy with the red, the orange skin and the crazy hairdo. TV personality mogul dude just took out career politician and the glass ceilings and all that dumb stuff. But I never expected the outcry, the tears, and the Rachel Maddow with "This is your world. This is the nightmare you've woken up to. This is America now." And it was, I didn't expect that. You did. You were totally on the. They're all going to freak out and they're going to lose their minds.
Oh, absolutely.
I knew they would be.
I called it.
I knew they would be upset, but I never had an idea that they would be that broken.
Oh no, dude.
Now, don't get me wrong. Since then, I've been laughing my ass off because it's some of the funniest footage of people losing their minds, especially the professionals.
Well, after Bush won, I mean, it was pretty bad. It wasn't.
Oh yeah,
It wasn't this bad, but I knew it was going to be this bad, and I'm gonna tell you why, dude. People, this is what I was talking about going hunting and stuff. People want to call this guy a bully. I call him a man.
Yeah.
I mean, he's not a bully. He is the guy that's going to grab the bull by the horns. And he's going to come over and he's going to grab you.
Yeah.
He's a man. I mean,
He's a businessman. That's for one thing.
If a woman is running the country, she's going to run the country like a woman's going to run the country. And if a man's going to run the country, he needs to run the country like a man's going to run the country. And all this bashing and shit.
Okay, well,
no, hold on.
just
Let me say this. 'Cause
Okay.
this got me hot. all this bashing him and shit for going over here and doing this with the idiot North Korea. Wasn't Obama doing the same thing? Except the one thing Obama did do that Trump didn't do was he actually knelt before these people.
No, I think what you're talking about is the bowing, and that was before.
Yeah, the bowing. Yeah,
that was
yeah,
before
yeah.
the Chinese
ambassador, whatever. Yeah, whatever it was.
No, what the thing was is with the North Korean deal, is it started back with Clinton. Actually, I think George Sr. had somewhat of a tiptoe into it, but it was really Bill and then George Jr. and of course Obama. They kept wanting to appease him and give him money to discourage him from doing the weaponizing and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
And then when it got to Trump was like, "No, we're done."
Right.
And it was like, okay, little man in the yard thinks he's playing with the big dogs. Hey, we've been figuring out nukes. Everybody else has nukes. And we're going to start pushing muscle. And then a guy like Trump, and you want to call it bullish, fine. He stepped into that same yard, looked at him and said, "You're done.
Right.
And if you want to continue on this, I have a bigger button and we know it works."
That's right.
That kind of attitude.
Which is what we need.
Exactly.
As a country.
I've always been of the understanding that America has to be the leader. Not a bully, but you have to be the strong one.
Somebody has to be the alpha male, dude.
You have
Somebody
to.
has to be
absolutely,
that. Yes.
Absolutely. Which turns me to the idea of, and you can speak political all day, and let me say this real quick before we go ahead. Back 25 years ago, 30 years ago, at least that much, to be liberal was to, hey, we want some government help. To be conservative is, hey, less government, lower the taxes. Liberals like, let's tax a little bit more. Now it's gotten to the point where it's no longer conservative and liberal. It's, god dang, it's either you're libtard crazy or you're libertarian all the way up until you get into the David Dukes and the racism and the far right craziness.
Extremist.
And it seems like the construction of everybody in between, whether you're a little liberal, a little conservative, they're all kind of fighting on the same side now. The two-party system has actually been broken into, my opinion, 3 parties. The crazy left, the crazy right, and then everybody in between that seems to want to make things work. Difference of opinion may be, but at least they want to make something work.
Right.
The guys on the right, they hate everybody but themselves, and the guys on the left, if you don't agree with them, shut them down, they're Nazis. And coming from, your grandfather fought in World War II, right?
Yes, sir.
So he actually fought Nazis.
Absolutely.
Real Nazis.
Real Nazis.
Real Nazis.
Yeah.
Not somebody who disagrees with some sort of left politics. And let me ask you this. I know we're, Christian, white, cis, male, conservative, Nazi, whatever. As you've lived in your white privilege.
My white privilege. Let me just tell you,
I'm silly at this point.
Man, I've had some white privilege.
Yeah. And be honest. I know we're being a little cynical at this point, but be honest. Where in your life has being white actually benefited you?
Never.
So didn't you grow up in pretty much a impoverished?
Well,
I
actually lived in a segregated town, yeah.
Segregated town. And that was like, god dang, you're only, 42, 43 years
43 years old.
43. So you're 43 years old. You can go back just 30 years.
Oh, yeah.
And say, I lived in a town where blacks lived on one side of the tracks and whites lived on the other.
Bunkie, Louisiana.
Okay, so did you spend time on the black side of the track?
I lived on the black side.
Oh, so you lived on the black side of the track.
Yes.
So you actually lived segregated town and you were the white kid in the all-black neighborhood.
Yes.
Tell me what that was like.
To be honest,
did they treat you different? Did they treat you like shit?
Not at all.
Were you given, hey,
Not
white
at all.
boy, anything
Not
like
at
that?
all.
You were accepted, loved,
everybody accepted me. It was wonderful. The people I went to school with, some of my best friends. A couple of them that I'm still friends with today.
And y'all all came from that same
neighborhood.
Same neighborhood. Wow.
So white people would come from the other side and come over there, and they they would come from that side. Government.
So the government was the separation.
Yeah. It was
like zoning. The zoning laws.
It was the city.
That little tiny ass town.
But
so the council, the city,
yes.
They were the racist ones. They were the ones to keep the blacks over here.
They were trying to separate everybody.
Trying. But y'all were always kind of coming across anyways because y'all didn't care about all that.
Black people come over the white side. White people go to the black side.
So would you say you grew up in, say, a post-racist society? Even though it was segregated by the county. amongst yourselves,
It was post-racist.
post-race.
Amongst us.
So y'all
us-
didn't hate each other
Us
for
as
any-
a people.
Right. So y'all didn't hate each
The
other.
high
for any-
school was on the black side, and the junior high was on the white side.
So they had to cross anyways.
People had to cross. It was stupid, really, having a segregated system to where
Everybody was going together anyway.
It was dumb.
It was kind of dumb.
I appreciate you bringing that up. I know you already knew that.
I kind of did.
That's why I appreciate.
But
you.
I got to bring it up for the folks at home, so
and,
they got.
and I appreciate
they
you.
know what's going on.
I appreciate you bringing that up.
The reason why I put that is a lot of the people that don't understand, people like me, people like you, we were never raised to hate another race. We were never raised to discriminate, to disrespect, to whatever you want to call it, race, gender. I mean, I probably have one of the most strongest feminist mothers. And I don't mean like a feminist like the crazy feminazis like I was talking before. But just strong woman, equality, doing the right things, standing up to the standards that men have been put up to, working hard. Me and my mom's been in the same thing for 35 years?
Yeah.
Almost 40 years doing the same thing. And now she's well-to-do vice president of her company and doing those kind of things.
Worked 3 jobs for a long time.
Yeah, did the hard work that mothers have done for years. But as the basis has come down, yes, my mother did it alone for those certain period of years, but she's had our stepfather for, going on 35
32,
years?
30, so 30, yeah.
Still is 30, so it's
31 years or 30 years
31.
was when we did that party. So I don't remember. We
So
had
it's 31, 32.
Yeah,
So
but-
for 30 years, she's had a man in the house being the father.
A great
figure of
person,
the
by
house.
the way.
Yeah, great man.
Yeah. So let me go ahead and throw those props out there. Good
So
guy.
the point is, and that's part of that structure of because a lot of what we talk about is this victimhood of black folks being discouraged because white man's holding them down. White guys have some sort of privilege. It's the systematics and all that. You hear all those buzzwords of systematic racism and all the cops are out there like the Gestapo of the Nazis, just offing black people in the ghettos just because they feel like it. There, I believe, is a mentality of family's gone. Family value, the family status of father, mother, kids. Whether one works or both works is not really so much the argument, but having a father in the home. Now, for the first 8 years, and we won't go into great detail, you were just father raised. Or do you think your grandmother really kind of filled that motherly role for those years?
I think my grandmother and my grandfather both.
So you wouldn't really attribute the father, or you would?
Well, as you know.
Good or bad?
As you know, and I'm not going to get into all that. As you know, I didn't have a great relationship with my father, my real father. I haven't talked to him in 20 years. Okay. My grandfather and my grandmother, basically,
the father-mother figure.
were my father and mother figure. Yeah. I mean, my grandfather taught me how to hunt. He taught me how to
Right.
fish.
But it taught you how to be a man, how to be
a man.
organized.
Number
and do-
one.
Even though and we all had our dysfunctions, we went through our adolescence.
I'm telling you, I look at all the stuff today with everybody gets a trophy for participating, and there's
Red
no,
pens make them feel bad about themselves.
there's no challenge anymore. The safe space, snowflakes that are out there, and we're going to talk about snowflakes
Oh Lord.
before this is all done said and
Melt
done.
the snowflakes out,
And,
they say.
and Antifa, I want to go ahead and give a little shout out to them,
Being
especially
smuck asses.
challenged folks that are out there. I mean,
Bothers you. It gets you, doesn't it?
Sometimes it just leaves you speechless. I mean,
It does.
really,
It does. It's probably, and we'll go ahead and we'll just kind of we'll transition because you and I both. First of all, we're Second Amendment.
Yes, sir.
I own a rifle. You own a rifle.
Who ya? Also Navy. Go Navy.
Army, Navy, Marines, all of them.
Yeah.
But,
Go all the armed forces. Absolutely.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for serving. Let's delve into that one idea. You have your hatredful, shitty kind of white supremacists on the right. They've always been there, but they're this very minute, quiet group.
They are quiet.
They're there,
No, they're absolutely
and they're
there.
assholes, and they
And
go,
they are
they go
douchebags.
screw
Yes,
themselves.
100%.
There's such a minute, quiet crowd, yet you have Antifa, which, for the life of me, I don't know how they could be so ironic, anti-fascist. But everything that they do seems to be straight out of the playbook of the fascist regime.
Everything.
Everything from the
It's almost ironic, haha, that they are the way they are. because
it's shut down. You're not allowed to have speech. You're not allowed.
they won't let you speak.
They don't want you to think a certain way. They want to tell you how you're supposed to think. I mean, everything that is fascism and that this group is supposed to be against seems to be exactly what they're promoting. Every single aspect of it. I mean, when you're having a guy like Ben Shapiro, this little Jewish guy who they call a Nazi.
Yeah.
And by the way, in 2016, he was, I don't want to say nominated, it's the wrong word for it. He was shown to be, received the most anti-Semitic shit online when it comes to like the Twitters and the Facebooks and blah, blah, blah. The most anti-Semitic stuff ever given to a Jewish man online in all of 2016. Yet, by the end of the year, they were calling him a Nazi.
Nazi. It's out of control.
It is. It is absolutely out of control.
What's out of control is, in all this that's going on, and you knew I was going to hit on this.
Probably.
How come nobody's talking about George Soros? Because that's why I'm confused about this whole situation, dude. The status of the United States of America right now, where we are politically.
Right. George Soros.
I'm pretty sure.
Would you say single-handedly it's George Soros?
I'm pretty sure he's trying to destroy our country.
You think single-handedly at this point?
He's absolutely has his hand in it right now, 100%.
With the globalist thing and whatever you want to call it, and the names that they give him.
And let's throw Hillary in there too, because I'm sure.
But Hillary's a non-factor at this point.
Well, she's never a non-factor.
She was
I got
a
about,
factor.
I know about 250 or so names that could pretty much say that she is a factor.
What problem?
We're not going to get into that right now.
Right. But for the most part, I would say the biggest activist right now would have to be some of the swamps up in D.C.
Yes.
Some of the holdovers from the Obama era.
Holdovers big time.
And then you have your guys that are like the George Soros.
And let's not forget Obama still got his hand in it too.
Well, of course, he's trying to run for that UN position now.
Of course.
And now he wants to keep himself in that. And,
yes.
And it's like, okay, well, most presidents, when they leave their office after 2 terms, they kind of just go off into the quiet and maybe do a few fundraisers.
He's not done.
No, he's not. I really honestly believe. See, you and I had this discussion, 12 years ago?
Or so.
No, not 12. 10 years ago, when he was going to be elected.
Well, yeah, it was about 10 years.
And I said he'll be elected for 2 terms. For sure. And you were like, well, why is that? I said, well, because it's a race thing. It's not to say I don't want a black man in presidency, but at that point, with the way race things were going,
I would have voted for Colin Powell in a minute.
Well, and that's true.
Obama was not the guy.
Obama was not the guy. Had nothing to
and
do
he
with race.
Proved that
by 8 years of complete
and people
ridiculousness.
and anybody out there, snowflakes, because that's who I'm talking to right now, that believe that Obama did any good for anything.
You're just lying to yourself.
You're just lying to yourself, and you're an idiot. So moving on.
If you say of anything, what would be his biggest what was his biggest? Sorry, FCC. What was his biggest fuck up?
I mean, I was just telling your dad earlier about the whole not ever showing a birth certificate. I mean, the very first thing to become a president, and he gives him a Xerox copy of his birth certificate. I mean, come on. I know that seems like it's something simple, but for 200 years, that you wouldn't have just become president of the United States
with a Xerox copy.
With a Xerox copy of your birth certificate.
But that's a conspiracy thing. Let's go.
Is it a conspiracy? Did you see the birth certificate?
No, I didn't.
Because I didn't.
I'm going to say it like this.
And that should be in public records.
First of all,
and it's not.
And it's funny is they like to give Trump all that hate, like he's the one that started it. It was actually Hillary Clinton that started the whole birth certificate issue.
Yeah. She's the one because she was trying to beat him.
Well, yeah, she was running against. By the way, she's a 3-time failure running against.
Dude, if you go back and watch the debates, she's literally burying Obama. And as soon as he becomes president, they're all of a sudden best friends.
And he's endorsing her for the next.
And he's endorsing her. Come on, man. Come on. How dumb are the libtards out there?
Okay. Let's jump to
go
policies.
Rockets. Go Rockets, by the way. Can I do that on here?
Yeah, you can do that on here.
Go Rockets. We're about to win the
Rockets
championship.
are awesome, by the way.
Finals, baby.
So, let's say policy-wise. Let's say Benghazi, Fast and Furious. Let's say Obamacare. Let's say...
Let's not say Obamacare.
I'm just saying, these are the different policies. These are things that happened under his watch.
No.
So what would you say would be his biggest screw-up?
Well, Benghazi was Hillary. She had the hand on. She had the hand on the trigger.
Okay. Okay. Well, I was just throwing things out
She
there.
had the hand on the trigger.
For him,
she could have
what would
saved.
you-
She could have saved those guys. But I'm glad you brought that up anyway,
Well, we'll talk about that in a second.
because that's something else that we can hit on.
So, what would you say is?
I think Obamacare is a criminal way to make money for him.
For him, or for just trying to just pay off the politicians?
Whatever it is, however, if it's for him in his pocket or for his, to pay off politicians to do criminal shit, whatever it was created for,
Right.
it's a criminal act, dude. You cannot force somebody to get something, and if they don't get it, you penalize them $600 or $1,600 or whatever it was.
Depending on your income.
Yeah,
and whatnot.
whatever it was.
So you're talking about the mandate.
Yes. Yes.
Well, if you don't have the insurance, you got to pay us a certain amount of money.
Well, and how many times did he go behind the Senate and Congress and just pass some shit without asking anybody?
DACA.
Come on, man.
DACA probably, and I will put to you, for me.
But now they want to bash on Trump because Trump's doing it.
Right. Well, and here's the
When Trump's doing it, because the people that Trump's doing it around are actually against him.
For the most part, most of Trump's executive orders have been to reverse executive orders that Obama did.
Yes.
The one thing that most people on the right side, or the non-left side, I would like to say, was DACA, was the Dreamer deal, where if you were brought into this country by your parents, you were kids, you didn't have a choice, you didn't come here legally, technically on your own, you came in, and now we're trying to give an idea to, okay, maybe you can become a citizen as long as you work and you don't break the laws and blah, 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 blah. What Obama was asking for under the DACA idea was 800,000 of these citizens. What really trips me out is Trump went, build the wall, end chain migration, end the immigration lottery. Just give me the wall, and I'll give you 1.8 million. That's 1,800,000. He was offering 1 million more than what Obama was offering. And the left went, no. Sorry, no. We don't want to give you the wall. We don't want to end chain migration. We don't want to end... It doesn't seem to be just Obama. And yes, piece of crap.
But now it's bad because Trump wants to do it.
Yes. And you can hear there's like Chuck Schumer. I hate that piece of crap. He in 2012 saying we cannot allow immigrants just to free flow into this country. We need to deport those who come here illegally and don't follow the rules. Fast forward to 2016 when Trump's talking about putting on the travel ban and building the wall. Chuck Schumer's now that's the most un-American thing to do.
Un-American. Oh, yeah. Donald Trump is beneath human.
And just 4 years prior to that, he was saying the exact opposite.
Because I told you, dude.
It's not that they really oppose what he is legislating or trying to go for. They're just really, really, really pissed off that they thought they had a career politician with 35 years in service who was supposed to break the woman barrier to be a president, was beaten out by a business mogul TV tycoon who they thought was just a caricature. And I don't think they really oppose what he's for. I don't really think they oppose what he's pushing. They just don't want to admit defeat. And that's why
They can't handle it.
No, and that's why we can't get the repeal and replace of Obamacare. That's why we're struggling for the wall.
Of course.
That's why we're struggling to, we got the tax
They're going to
cuts.
fight him all the way through, dude.
Even if it's good, even if it's things they agree on.
They're going to fight him.
Absolutely. And that's why I call them snowflakes.
That's their agenda.
Yeah.
They want to destroy America.
It's the narrative of all of it.
They want to destroy
It's
America.
we don't want...
They tell
to
you that they
succeed.
want peace. They tell you that they want everybody to be equal. They tell when it's the exact opposite. They don't want peace. They want you to be listen to what they say and only what they say.
Right.
And I don't know. It's just getting out of control. I can tell you that.
Well, see, that was one of the questions that... Let's go to... How much of the Parkland issue have you been looking at?
I mean, I saw a little bit of it on the news.
But you're not like me. I'm glued to the news all the time.
Yeah, I don't spend a lot of TV, a lot of news time watching.
So you know of David Hogg, the little Nazi kid, little skinny kid that's all screaming about let's ban guns, period, and
Yes.
NRA are murderers.
Yes.
Members of the NRA are all blood on your hands because you want guns. and
By the way, we will all die if they take our guns because everybody else in the world has guns.
no, they don't.
Okay, not everybody, But you know
Most
what I mean.
countries, and that's the funny thing, is like
There's a lot of guns still out there, and
in the
we
UK.
don't
Hold
want
on,
to disarm ourselves.
listen. In the UK,
You're gonna be in trouble.
you're not allowed to have a firearm.
There's several
matter
places.
Matter of fact, the cops don't even have firearms. In Australia, they had the buyback program.
You're defenseless.
In most countries, matter of fact, America is one of the last countries that has a free and open society for the civilians to carry firearms.
Keep that going.
The only reason why we keep those firearms is so that we have a way to protect ourselves from a tyrannical government that figures out, like, I don't know, China, when they did it with Mao and Stalin and Hitler and, I don't know, Hugo Chavez.
All the other
and
countries.
All the other socialist countries and communist countries that basically went in and said, let's take your gun rights, let's take all the guns. And then once they took all the guns, they started executing people on the regular.
Because you had no way of protecting yourself.
Okay. So here's where I ask you, and this is a legitimate question.
We do not want to be unarmed with Russia and China and people like that out there.
Or with our own government.
Or with our own government, yes.
I mean, that's the funniest thing.
or our own neighborhoods, really, to be honest with you,
got
because
these
of how
people-
bad it's gotten.
You gotten these people that are March for Life, where they're down, they're what was it, 200,000 people marched out on D.C. about taking gun control and all that kind
Well,
of
and
stuff.
remember what you also said the other day. You can take all of our guns, but do you think the criminals are going to turn their guns in?
Absolutely.
So what happens if you take all the people that
So you disarm the good people.
the good people who can
Because you know the
protect you?
criminals are not going to just disarm themselves.
No, it's not going to happen.
So, you look at it like this. Let me in a ratio 50-50, 30-70, 60-40. What are the chances of an actual governmental legislation to say that's it, no more citizens can own guns?
It'll be a civil war.
You really think so?
Absolutely. You try to disarm everybody in this country, all the good people,
All the abiding citizens.
the law-abiding citizens. Let's say that. You try to disarm all the law-abiding citizens, which include law enforcement. You try to disarm everybody in the country.
No, disarming only goes to the citizens. Law
No.
enforcement, military. It's why they call it a police state.
Right, I understand that.
So you say just the
Do you
citizens,
think
private
do
citizens
you
can't
think-
have
do
guns.
you think just a small amount of law enforcement, which I appreciate all law enforcement and everything
Oh,
y'all
by the way,
and
back the blue.
everything y'all do 100%. But do you think the small number against the population of America of law enforcement is enough to protect the whole United States?
No, absolutely not.
You have to have people like us, dude.
Of course.
You have to, because if shit does pop off,
Well, yeah, I mean, let's
which
let's
is
just hypothetically.
kind of
let's-
inevitable is going to happen.
Let's hypothetical. Let's say we had some sort of land invasion by a foreign nation.
Yeah, what are you
The
going to do?
military can do the best. They'll be the best because the
We'll
best.
survive. But what is
What about those who don't have the protection? Let's say the government goes tyrannical. God forbid it be Trump. I don't think it would. I honestly believed if Hillary would have been in there, there
I
would have
believe
been
that.
a push for disarmament. And I really believe that she would have pushed for this. And it's not so much Hillary herself.
Trump's
It's
not going
the-
after our guns.
Absolutely. It's not so much Hillary herself. It's really the push of the liberal agenda.
Yes.
Let's take away the guns. Let's end gun
Control.
violence. I mean, I understand.
New World Order.
True. And if we take their guns away, think about this.
No, it-
Look how bold the liberals are being while we have guns. Imagine how they would be if we didn't have guns. Just think about that. Really let that sink in.
Have
If
you-
somebody's an asshole to you knowing you could pop them in the face, imagine how they would be if you were defenseless.
And tell me
That's where we're getting at today.
how many right wing people, and let's just be honest and be honest with yourself. How many right wing groups, big number of people, have you seen go around and destroy buildings and
Oh, the riots and
flip over
starting
cop
fights
cars and beat people over the head with sticks and rocks? And how many right wing groups have you seen do that?
none.
Let's be honest. How many left people? have
They
you
tried
seen?
to say the Tea Partiers back in what, 2008,
God.
2010 were
Come
back.
on.
It was like most of the Tea Party protests that came through, the place was cleaner when they left.
Yes, if anything.
They weren't breaking windows and attacking people and hurting anybody. They were just pushing for an idea. They walked, they marched, they made their point, and they walked away. And actually, matter of fact, the Tea Party actually gained some ground in Congress
Yeah, they did.
for the most part.
Leftist libtards. That's what they are.
Libtards.
Libtards.
So, and we don't want to wrap this to be too long, but I want to hit one or two little extra subjects. As a veteran, and I want to call you a patriot. I'll call you a patriot.
I believe I'm a patriot.
Call
Yes,
you
sir.
a patriot.
Yes,
Call
sir.
you a patriot. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Because I'm a patriot. Matter of fact, as Gavin McInnes says, I'm a Western chauvinist. West is the best.
Yes.
Everything about the Western culture is the best culture. We have the capitalism, we have the nuclear family, we have pretty moral standards that are being destroyed today by the leftist ideas or mostly Marxism. But for guys like this man here and me, we served our country. We did the right things. We've worked hard, good, bad, or indifferent.
Good, bad, or indifferent.
Some days good, some days bad. But let me ask you this. How does it make you feel when you hear the national anthem and you see a sports figure take a knee in protest of what I believe is a BS concept, like cops are just running the streets murdering African Americans every day like it's, a shooting gallery?
Okay, first of all, let me say this again. Thanks to the police officers in the United States for everything that they do every day. And our military for everything that they do and giving their lives for this country and for your freedom to take a knee in a football game or wherever it may be.
Right.
You have that right. But
does
you
it
just
make-
have to know when to say, yeah, it's going to be a douchebag move. Because people are dying for you to have the right to live.
So let's take and here's where a lot of people try.
And
to
the flag means something to them. This means something to them, us, as a people, as a nation, as a country.
and as veterans.
And as veterans. And you're basically shitting on it by taking a knee
Because some dumb kid did something stupid and
because
got shot.
some kid did a criminal activity and got shot by a police officer. More white people are killed by white cops every single year. More Mexicans are killed by white cops every single year. But yet we want to beat on the thing that will cause the most racist tension in the country, basically.
Would you admit there are dumb cops that make dumb mistakes? and
Absolutely.
do you think, not systematically, but do you think there are racist cops out there, period?
Absolutely.
But do you think it's a plague or an epidemic or
Not at all.
straight across the board problem?
Not at all. And let's talk about how many racist individuals there are out there that these police have to deal with on a daily basis.
White racists.
White racists, black racists, Hispanic racists. They hate the white man, or the white man, the black guy, and the Mexican hate the Chinese guy. There's racism and hate
Amongst everybody for
amongst
somebody.
in the world.
Yeah.
But somehow everybody wants to keep leaning towards the black thing.
I'll tell you why. Because of the slavery issue. But it's like, it's...
Look, first of all, my best friend is black. Chris Johnson, he lives in Virginia. My second best friend is Mexican. Okay? So I'm not racist.
My best friend's Jesus.
But I'm going to tell you right now.
Sorry.
Let it go. This was 200 years ago, man. Your grandfather wasn't a slave. My grandfather wasn't a slave owner. Nor was my great-grandfather, nor was your great-grandfather.
Do you want to stat? Less than 5% of the white population today is directly related to somebody
Absolutely.
actually owned a slave.
Absolutely.
Less than 5% of the black population, which is only 13% of the population. to
If
begin
you
with.
want to be honest, I'm
hold
not
on.
racist. If you
less
want to be
than
honest.
less than 5% of the black population today is directly related to an actual slave.
More black people are racist towards white people than white people are towards black people. And it didn't help when Obama went on national television and said that white people have racism in their, in their DNA.
Yeah. Racism is DNA based.
He started a race war. Because I'm going to tell you right now, before he was president, it was not this bad.
No. There was a little bit of the black man being held down.
It is
by the white
way
man type thing.
worse now.
But yeah, oh yeah. The
Way
victimhood
worse.
mentality has been.
We were actually moving in
ramped
a
up.
good direction.
I really believe that. I really believe
We were
there was
actually
a
moving in a good direction.
There was a good cohesion between the black community, the white community, the Hispanic community.
Since he became president.
I mean, for God's sakes, look at me now. I'm married to a Hispanic woman raising half Indian kids,
Right.
and they're gonna call me a racist because I voted Trump.
Right. But they're illogical people, man.
That's what I don't understand. I don't hate any race, creed, color for any reason whatsoever. Simply for race, creed, or color. If a black guy is an asshole or a white guy is an asshole, I hate that guy for being an asshole.
That's all right.
Not
As
for
an
being a white
individual,
guy.
not for being what color he is.
I don't hate a person for their race. I hate a person for the way they treat people.
We're all God's children.
Thank you. I agree with that. Okay.
We were all created by same.
You know we're gonna have more
the same
conversations.
entity.
You know we're gonna have more conversations, obviously.
Yes, this is our first one.
I
I appreciate the gym, by the
No
way.
problem. No problem. I want to kind of end this.
On the way out, can we get some of that? What you got going on in the background there?
Yeah, I'll turn that up a little
That
bit.
sounds pretty good.
I need to hear from you because I just did the video on it, and it's very dear to me because my understanding is very lost on the idea of masculinity, feminism, all those ideas. When you, because I know you don't get into it as much as I do, but do you think there is a hard shift pushing the masculine man out and making the feminazi kind of, and I don't even want to say feminazi, just do you think like culturally the women are taking control and men are just being pushed back because of the years of men in control? Or do you think it's just or do you think it's just a phase?
I say there's a group of women that are attempting to do that because as what we got sitting in the living room right there, both of us, our women are awesome.
Yeah.
So I have known several awesome women in my life, and most of them are not like that.
Right, but do you think culturally we're being pushed that way?
I
or
think
do you
they're
think
trying.
It's just a phase?
I think they're trying to push us that way.
So you think they're trying? Do you think it'll phase out and just kind of disappear, or do
No,
you...
of course not, because of all the waves that have been going on. I think there's going to be another wave of people after this that are going to take what they've done and try to push it to
intensify
another
it,
level.
multiply it? Whatever.
It's going in a bad direction all around.
Do you think? And I'll make this the final point.
And I want to jump on something real quick before we get off of here. You know, a person I work with has a gay son, okay? And I met him a couple of days ago at an event that I did. And his boyfriend was there.
Okay.
And I used to not have a really good view about this whole situation.
Not that you were hateful, you were just very standoff.
Not hateful, I was just very standoff. But I bet these guys do, and they seem super cool.
Were they effeminate or were they
No,
just normal guys?
They're just normal dudes.
Yeah, I don't mind those guys.
Normal guys.
It's the effeminate
So I had no
flavors that are
problem.
on.
So I had no problem with that. So LBJ, whatever, JTQ, whatever, LMNOZ, whatever the hell your shit is. Okay, let me say this: it's not cool for a man to go into a woman's bathroom. I don't care what you dress him up as, and I don't care what he thinks in
that's
his
a
mind.
trans issue.
Yeah, that's not cool. Not cool. Not
Okay.
cool. I don't have a kid, but if I had a daughter and I seen a man walk into a woman's bathroom like that, or if I ever see a man walk
Probably
into a
get his
woman's
ass
bathroom like that, he's gonna get his ass beat, and that's just straight up.
Okay, real quick, we'll step on it because you had to bring it up. So, do you think trans is okay as long as they shut the hell up and stay in their own place about it, or do you?
I say, I like girls, especially that one right there, and I don't just be going around, sticking my tongue in her ass in the public, or trying to.
So you don't
force
want it.
it.
You don't want it pushed society.
I mean,
you don't want it normalized.
Do you at your house?
So you don't want it normalized.
If you want to do, you can be normalized. You can walk around.
no.
In the store
Normalized
together.
is saying that it's okay for a man dressed as a woman to go into a bathroom.
Negative Ghost Rider.
So you don't want it normalized.
There's got to be a line.
There's got to be a line.
There's got to be a line because when does it go to? I was born as a pedophile, and I just like to have sex with kids. That's what I'm attracted to.
Right.
Or I was born bestiality. I just like having sex with animals. I don't like people. But that's me. That's who I was born as. That's what I identify as.
All right.
Check it out. Last Friday, I identified as a
Spaceship.
spaceship, and I was flying around the neighborhood. Do you believe that shit? No, but you're gonna believe a person that's gonna tell you that they believe that they're a woman. A man that tells
I'll
you.
give you the best argument that I've ever heard.
It's ridiculous.
I'll give you the best argument that I've ever heard. How old are you?
43. Luckily,
How come you can't be 23?
I can. I guess if I believe it.
No, but honestly, do you think you could really be 23?
No, not at all.
Okay, so
Can't turn back time.
So what's the difference between being trans age, or how about this? Like Sean King, he says he's black, but it's been proven several times he's white.
He's very white, actually.
But he leads Black Lives Matter.
Yeah, he thinks he's a black guy.
So he's transracial.
Yes.
So
He identifies as a black
Where
person.
does the line stop to say, I'm trans pedophile or I'm trans?
That's what I'm saying.
You got
You have to stop somewhere.
You have to draw a line.
There has to be a line drawn in the sand, dude. You can't just continue. Okay, I know there's a lot of atheists out there, and I know there's a lot of people that don't believe in the Bible. But I mean, if you read the Bible, which we both have, this is all leading up to a not so nice time here on Earth. Okay, that's all I can say. Everything that is happening in succession
as it's
been drawn out.
Yeah, I absolutely believe it. I absolutely.
And somebody's going to have to draw the line in the sand and say, "Wait, this is it. We can't
You
go
know
any
what?
further."
It may not always be perfect, but I think from now on, when you come onto the show here and you do this with me, we're going to call it drawing in the line. Or line in the sand, or we'll come up with something.
Line in the sand,
Line in the
drawing
sand
the
said,
line.
draw
Yeah.
the line, or line in the sand, or
Yeah,
something. You
yeah,
know, we'll
yeah.
have
something
something
like that.
Because basically everything that's going to be happening from this point forward, and I really appreciate you doing this with me.
Hey, absolutely.
I really do. I really do. Love it. It's my brother, so he'd pretty much do anything I ask him to do,
Pretty much.
except for maybe give me a hooker on a Friday. But we'll talk
else.
about these things. But anyway, this is what it's always been about for me as Jay the Denier, and I really live by that, because being a denier is somebody who's willing to look at everything, look at the facts, look at the hypotheticals, look at the conspiracies, look at everything that is out there. And every time you see those things, not everything you read, not everything you hear is the truth. You need to constantly always look into the details of everything.
Facts.
So my main thing is, I'll leave you with two quotes. Facts do not care about feelings. And God is good all the time.
All the time. And props to my dog Bandit.
Yeah. So I'm going to leave it this. Subscribe. Leave your comments. Push that bell next to the subscribe so way anytime I post, you get that. Leave your comments, your suggestions. Let me know what you like, what you don't like, whether you hate me or like me. This has been Jay the Denier, and I guess this has been
Choppery.
Line in the Sands. This is Choppy Chris, and we are out, ladies and gentlemen, and I really appreciate y'all being here tonight.
Go and get us out with that.
Oh, yeah, y'all want to hear a little bit of that, what's going on over there?
If you can get that sound going
Get
right
that
there.
going right there.
No, I'd like to hear some more from you guys.
How do you do that, baby?
Yeah, what you got there, buddy? Make it
Oh,
happen.
okay. Oh, wait, hold on. I'm going to do this. And pause.
And
Move
pause.
forward, and pause. And I'm going to do this right here.
Go and get that volume. Go and get that volume.
Get that volume.
Go and hit that shit.
And I
right
guess
there.
we'll go ahead and part ways this way. Sorry for the goofiness, but this is the way it's always going to be. Love y'all and have a good night.
Laters.